There was once a traveller who realised they had been carrying someone else's map. Every direction, every decision, it had been written in someone else's ink. And one day, standing at the crossroads of not enough, and who I really am, they paused, and something inside whispered, "Draw your own map." You know, there's a strange thing about forgetting what never served you, and remembering what was always true. Because sometimes, when you forget the noise, you can remember the signal. That's where it all begins, because you are not broken. You are over-adapted. You learned to survive by becoming invisible, valuable only when needed, loved only when convenient. But now you're learning something else. You're learning how to breathe in your worth. Not because someone else said you're enough, but because you are. And people who know their worth, they stand differently. They speak not to be validated, but because their voice already matters. Isn't it curious how, the more you let go of needing love, the more love shows up without effort. The more you stop chasing approval, the more approval starts chasing you. Have you ever noticed that? A flower doesn't try, it just is. Yet it still draws the sun, the bees, the eyes of every passer-by. Self-worth isn't earned, it's revealed. As that traveller kept walking, they began to realise that every step they took was no longer a reaction to pain, but a creation of purpose. They chose to install a new operating system, a system where emotions are not problems but signals, where being vulnerable is not weakness, but the strongest magic of all, where resilience isn't effort, it's identity. So imagine now you begin to remember what you've already knew, that confidence is not a performance, it's a permission. The boundaries are not walls, they're invitations to self-respect. That asking for support is not dependence, it's collaboration with life. And I don't know if you already noticed this, or if you'll realise it later, but people who fully step into their power tend to share a few patterns. They use language that uplifts. They act without waiting for proof. They love without clinging. They forgive without forgetting their worth. They shine not to impress but to express, because expression is freedom. They learned that self-approval is not a reward, it's a requirement. And the moment they gave up the need to be seen, they finally became visible. You can feel this now, can't you? That something is already shifting. The old software is uninstalling itself. No drama, no resistance. Just a smooth fade into irrelevance. In its place, resilience installs itself like breath. Self-worth settles in like gravity. Clarity updates like dawn. You don't need to figure it all out now, because the process is running beneath the surface, behind the thoughts, between the lines of these very words. You're being rewired with the beliefs that resilient people carry, that emotions are fuel, that growth is joy, that the present is power, the relationships are chosen, not survived. And from this place, you no longer react. You respond, you create, you influence, you attract. You begin to notice you're speaking differently, thinking differently, even breathing differently. And that's the mark of someone who's let go of old frames and stepped fully into their own. Because now you know you're loved, you're enough, you're becoming, you always were. So your unconscious mind continues installing every useful belief, trait, pattern, and way of being from all of this. You don't even need to remember how it happened, only that it has.